Sky Movies.
Yeah. So like this interview will get shown on the TV all over. We're rolling. No, we're not rolling. No, you could film by the way.
Can you sit kind of more
Yeah. Don't move my
chair.
chair.
Just move you.
Right, that way.
No, you can sit
That
straight
way.
in chair, that's cool.
Yeah?
Yeah?
It's acting,
Okay,
this
we're
acting thing, man. It's just not me. Alright, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go. Right, first of all, can you introduce me to the film, what the plot of the movie?
Yeah, this is a movie about a little girl who's been kidnapped and or she's gone missing, and a local young private investigator, kind of at the beginning of his career, has been hired by the family because they trust him because he lives in the neighborhood, and it's a bigger case than he's ever been able to work on before. So he's kind of in over his head, and and that's basically what it is.
Okay, introduce me yours and Michelle's character and explain why they can get access to certain people that the cops can't.
Well, the movie takes place in in Boston, in a kind of a neighborhood in Boston. It's pretty kind of tight-knit, very kind of closed community. Many families have been there for generations and generations, and kind of distrustful of people that aren't really from that neighborhood. So, and, very wary of police officers. So there's, growing up there, knowing a lot of the people, presumably helps the character, get bits of information that otherwise he wouldn't be able to get and the cops wouldn't be able to get.
Cool. Did you grow up around there?
Yeah, pretty close to there. I grew up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is kind of, 5 minutes away or whatever. But it's, when I was a kid, Cambridge looked exactly like what you see in the movie, which was kind of fantastic. I loved it, It was like, so shooting the movie was like every day. It was kind of this overwhelming nostalgia, because you just look around and, and Ben chose locations, I think, because what was familiar to him, and so everywhere we went kind of looked like places that we grew up in. Now, of course, Cambridge is a lot different. But
It's a very kind of high tense movie, yeah, without any major action sequences or fights or stuff like that. So the characters and the plot brings out that tension. Do you think that as well? Is that something that was done on purpose?
Yeah, I think that the movie kind of sustains a certain level of tension because of the storytelling. There is some action. There's actually quite a gripping action sequence in the middle of the movie that I think I kind of, I even, knowing how it turns out, I always hold my breath when I watch it. It's that kind of a thing, and I think Ben just did a great job kind of with the writing and with the direction, so that you're sort of always on the edge of your seat.
Cool. How important was the novel in developing the mood of the film?
I didn't, it wasn't that important, I would say, but
Okay.
I'm not the person that adapted it, so.
Okay. How do you choose your roles? I mean, what qualities do you look for in a film?
Well, this movie is kind of a good example of what I like to look for in roles, which is just kind of, complicated characters. I like playing characters that kind of do, that are always sure themselves why they're doing what they're doing. Characters that don't always do kind of what is the right thing, yeah.
And I want to know, if there is one, what film changed your life and why?
What film that I watched changed my life? That was
Yeah.
not a part of. Well, I saw The Harder They Come when I was about 6 years old, and saw it in this little tiny little movie house called Off the Wall, which is in my neighborhood. It was the first movie I'd been to, and I think I was way too young to be seeing that movie, but I was with a babysitter who took me and this other kid to see that movie because she wanted to see it. And everyone was standing up. I'm not sure if there were seats or not, but everyone was standing up and smoking and yelling, talking to the screen. And it's quite a violent movie. And it was it's just sort of just seared into my brain, you know, that experience. So it's sort of the most memorable for me as far as a kind of movie-going experience.
Cool, man.
Also a very terrific film, you know, kind of breaks a lot of rules, very, very loose improvisational movie that also kind of adheres to certain, like, classic, you know, story structure. So I think it's a great movie.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
You're a top actor, by the way. Huh? You
Thanks.
really are.
Thank you.